To nourish or nurture means to promote healthy growth by providing what is needed or required for someone to grow and develop healthily. How then do you nurture your marriage to make it flourish? Stay tuned to find out in today's episode of the Marriage Classroom.
Good evening, class.
Good evening.
And good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Marriage Classroom, where we have actually been learning about the alphabet of marriage. And Pastor George last time taught about the letter M. And therefore, today we proceed to the letter N. So we are looking at N. Some of the verbs that we can be able to use for this letter N. Maybe we can get a few suggestions from some of you so that we can be able to build our marriages so that they are strong and lasting and enjoyable. As it's been said many times, so that we can enjoy our marriages, not endure. So anyone with, yes, George?
Nurture.
One of them is nurture. Nurture your marriage. Somebody else? Any other word that we can give to one's N? Yes?
Nourish.
Nourish. Nourish your marriage. You had raised up your... Oh, you wanted to say nourish.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? And even the viewers they are out there, you can actually also suggest, even on the social media platforms. Sure enough, today the words that we have is actually nurture and nourish. Incidentally, even my notes, that's what we have. So it's like walikuwa maybe a notes kidogo, eh? So it is a nurture and nourish. And therefore we look at we look at the meaning. The meaning of we start with nurture now because it was the first one to come out. What is to nurture? What is to nurture? To give
birth to something.
To give birth to something.
Cause to grow.
To cause to grow. Very nice descriptions.
Mold.
Mold. Mold.
Bring out the best out of someone.
Bring out the best from, wow. Bring out the best from something.
It can be also to take care or to tend something. That is, as we say, you're trying to make it, in the right environment for growth.
Very good. I think one of the things that we can be able to do is we can think about living things here. And when we are talking about nurture, even whether it is our children or nurture some plants, we are basically talking about a situation where you take care of, where you protect something that is growing. You know, you protect or take care of something that is growing. You provide someone or something with things such as food and protection, which are essential for health, healthy growth and development. So that provision, and that means therefore all the things that you have said are right. All that, you know, you provide something that will make it grow, so that it something that will make it develop, so to say. You know, there is growth and development, yes. And they are different. Because even hata tukisema watoto kuna ile ya kukua, you know, where they are growing, but they must also be able to develop. Na ukiwa na mtoto ambaye ana grow na ha develop, unajua inakuwa shida, because there are certain marks whereby the child is growing in size but at the same time ana develop kama speech, something like speech, si kweli? Na kwa hivyo una provide environment ile inatakikana. So hata kwa marriage ni vile vile, kwa doa ni vile vile. Ni lazima tuwe na hii. Na nourish is easy, nourish na ziko na uhusiano mkubwa sana. Nourish. Constance, you look like you are really thinking about something. Yeah?
Nourish ni ishaleta patunda sasa. Imeshazaa.
Ishaza,
To my understanding, nourish is like decorate. Yeah, or make to flourish.
Make to flourish, decorate. You had something.
Make better.
Make better. Kuna mtu mwingine ambaye akona any other suggestion? Yes?
To nourish ni kama kuiongezea something more. So unapata kama ni kama multivitamin for it to become better. So it is growing but you want it to be better than what it is.
Ni kama kuweka fertilizer.
Kama kuweka fertilizer
sasa. Kuweka manure.
Yani ikuwe much better.
Na ukasema multivitamin hata hizo.
Multivitamin yote inaye kabisa.
Asante. So to nourish is to provide with food all other essential substances that are necessary for growth, health, and good condition. So, wakati unai-provide. So, in other words, when we are talking about nurture your marriage, nourish your marriage, wacha ndoa yako iwekwe zile vitu ambavyo vinastahili. Kuna watu wengi ambao wanakuja kwa ndoa kutoa. They come to receive. You come because, you know, a wife comes because there will be a provider. Unaona? A man comes because now somebody, unamesikia hata kwa maharusi kiambio, sasa amepata murugeni. Amepata mtu wa kupikia yeye. Amepata mtu hata kwa Waswahili wanasema amepata jiko. You know, all those things. In other words, they are coming because there is a benefit which they are going to derive from. But we are saying for us to have a strong marriage, a lasting marriage, a healthy marriage, then ni lazima sisi sio kuja kuchukua, ni kukuja kuweka. Kwa sababu tukiwa tunatoa si kuna wakati itaisha. Lakini ikiwa sisi hatuweki. So maybe we can look at a few things that we can be able to do to nurture and nourish. What to do? What to do to nurture and nourish? Ni mambo gani ambayo tunaweza changia katika ndoa zetu so that we have said so that we can be able to sustain, enrich, nutrify, provide for, so that hiyo ndoa iweze kukua. Mambo mengine tunaweza fanya?
I think one of the ways that we can nurture our marriage is by reading the word together and praying together. You know, when you're growing in the spiritual part, it tends to help some people, or it tends to help us to also to bring out the best character in us, to straighten our character and our motives in marriage. So it also adds maybe like, let's say like love. When you bring out from the Bible content, you find out it people tend to follow it and to obey it, so it brings out the best to nurture one another in marriage.
So you lay a very firm spiritual foundation, which is actually by studying the Word of God together, praying together. Any other person with something else?
Support the vision. If you have the plan of doing something, we have to support it so that it can nurture it. So
support one another. Pastor George, you had something?
Grow in communication, that is in listening and speaking.
So have effective communication. And you have put it very nicely. Sio kusikiza tu ama kusema. Ni lazima both ways, isn't it? Unasikiza effective. You reason. Sio ili yaone ninasikiza. You reason to understand. Si ni kweli?
Information is power.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of study. We have information in the reading of books. Unaweza sikiza couples wengine how they do it. So do a lot of study to better your relationship.
So you seek knowledge, eh?
Yes.
You seek knowledge. Yeah.
I'll also think of identify some of the weaknesses that we are facing and then deal with them. Okay,
let me just write it, deal with your weaknesses, because you cannot deal with them before you identify. Yes. So number 5 here, deal with your weaknesses. That means therefore that deal with your weaknesses. That would mean therefore that you have to do probably in your marriage something you call a SWOT analysis. You look at your strengths, you look at your weaknesses, you look at the opportunities that you have, and you look at the threats, what can be able to threaten that, and then you work on your weaknesses. Very critical. Maybe I can, yes, please.
One of the other things that you realize, if there's the nurture, as we said, to give that environment, and then to nourish, to provide what is needed, then we must be ready to know what we need to nourish. You know, this, what I'm saying is like, imagine the marriage like a plant, okay? And like Jacinta has said, if you don't put those ingredients like manure na nini, na maji na nini, you don't nourish that tree. You don't take care of it. So what is happening is, I'm wondering, are there specific small things? You know, there may be small ones, lakini fertilizer. Dio kako, the maybe CAN, kuna hiyo tunaongezanga kwa hata chakula. Unajua unaweza kuwa na chakula lakini kuna eka kitu naweka inakuwa na ladha. Yeah, you spice it. So I think the nourishing part of marriage is where kuna kakitu, kuna doa tu zile tunasema bora doa, au lakini kuna doa bora, okay? For it to be bora, you know, doa bora, ni nini wanawekanga hiyo kunorish hiyo?
Nafikiri, I think we have looked at that because we are saying seek the knowledge. Nini, like kama in one of the past episodes, there was the issue of the 5 languages of love. Kwa hivyo ni lazima ujue mwenzangu ni nini kuwa kinamfurahisha. Unaweza kuja na maua, for example, nyumbani ukifadhania ya kwamba your wife will be very happy, and then anashindwa, huyu usiangeleta boga afadhali. Afadhali angeleta spinach tukule, maua ni nani atakula? Lakini kuna mwingine hiyo ndio itafurahisha yeye kabisa. Hata ukileta chakula yote na hujaletea hiyo kakitu ya kumfurahisha. So I think seeking knowledge is very critical. Ni kweli? Yes. That's what we are basically saying. I think some of these things, what I have in my list, you have already said them. But I think it's good for us to go through them all the same, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to support Doc on what she has said. I think what she means is study one another. And study some micro, some very minute additives that can spice up your marriage. Others may not necessarily be what we normally see people doing, but there are others that I can study. Naeza soma tu mambo kidogo kidogo.
Na ujue hii huwa inafurahisha yeye.
No, not necessarily, because she may not have an experience there before. But I would see it that if I do this, I would try to bring flowers. Maybe I have never brought flowers.
I get you now.
So because she has no experience. Like if we are newly married, we may not have experience as per se ya kwamba hatujakuwa kwa ndoa. So and therefore it is. I need to study.
Can we say be adventurous?
I need to take a master's course or a PhD course kwa my spouse. That I try this, and when it doesn't work, I will not give up on trying something else until I get the right spice for that taste.
So that's why I was saying I think it's good to be adventurous. Sio ya kwamba kila kitu unafanya vile unafikiria inastahili, you keep on trying something new. And ukiona hiyo inafurahisha una note in the notebook ya fikira zako, na unasema hii nimeona inafurahisha unafanya hiyo mara mingi. Hii haifurahishi pengine unajaribu wakati mwingine ukiona haifanyi unaweka mstari this one here, it is not adding up. That's very good. Allow me to just go through this, and then we will see what we can do. Number one, we are saying endeavor to communicate effectively. That's why we had talked about here effective communication. Si tulikuwa tumeitaja hapo. Tena be intentional about your time and actions. Intentional time and actions. Na nafikiri Pastor George, that's what we are saying. Yani yale mambo unafanya, you are intentional, you are deliberate. Sio kufanya tu ili ufanye, ni kwa sababu unataka hili jambo lifanyike. And then we had already talked about that in the earlier whatever episodes, appreciate each other. Don't take it one another for granted. Sio mtu atu anapika chakula, analeta kwa meza, unakula, and then yule mwingine anangojea hata useme something concerning the food. Kasema kama hii ingekuwa mbaya singekula. Kama ingekuwa mbaya singekula. You know, that kind of thing. But I think it's good to say, you know, I like the fact that what you are saying. Grace anasema yeye, my husband is the one who taught me to cook. So Pastor George anasema ya kwamba my wife is not only a wife but she's a chef. Wow. You know, and yet yeye anasema if at all I'm a chef, ni yeye alinifunza. That appreciating one another on the little things that are done. However little, ni vizuri sana kwa sababu zina nurture. They nourish the marriage. And then we are saying serve one another. Acts of kindness. Acts of kindness. Zile vitu kidogo kidogo. Hiyo tunasema. Pengine mtu amefika nyumbani kuchukua hizo viatu tu na kuweka kando. Ama kupeleka maji kwa bafu. Ikiwa hakuna maji na hakuna shower, instant hot shower. Unajua zamani watu walikuwa wakisema ni lazima mke wangu anipelekee nini? Maji kwa bafu. But lakini even the other way around it can work, isn't it? Yes. Yeye amefika, wewe umefika mbeleni, badala ya kunyosha miguu na kugojea ati the wife is the one who is going to do that. So ingine hata pengine ni kumwambia tu thank you for whatever you have done. The little things that matter. We have said another thing is to admit your mistakes. Ikiwa umefanya makosa, admit them. Admit those mistakes. Take responsibility for your actions. That's basically what we are saying. Take responsibility. Nimefanya hiyo jambo si kufanya vile inastahili, na ukifanya hivyo yule mwingine anaona you are human, you know? You are human. Taking that responsibility is very critical. Now, one way of taking responsibility is apologizing. It is not only admitting the mistake, but you also go ahead and apologize. And
men to say sorry. Men to say sorry. Yes. Some, not all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have added. It's that some people, maybe by their own nature and nurture, they never saw their fathers, role modeling. But lakini sisi tuna majukumu kwa watoto wetu. Tuwaonyeshe ya kwamba mtu huwa ana apologize. By the way, we should even be apologizing even to our own children when we are the ones who are in the wrong. Yes. Si ni kweli? Pengine you judge them wrongly na wamefanya kitu ama hawajafanya, now you are accusing them of something they never did. I think it is good to acknowledge. Now that in itself shows that we are human. Now you are also nurturing them. You are nourishing them, you know, to do that. So not bit of apologizing. And the other one is providing emotional support. Emotional support. Social support also whenever they are needed. Maybe I can share something without seeking permission. I can share something that happened very recently between me and my wife. Now, what happened is that I was going home, and I can't remember who called the other. I'm the one who called. I'm the one who called home. Something that we do quite often. We communicate a lot, by the way. So I called home, and then akaniuliza uko wapi? Nikamwambia pahali nilikuwa. When I mentioned where I was, it is just about less than 4 kilometers from home. And then she said, can you come, you know, can you buy some chapati somewhere? There is a supermarket. Now there is somewhere where we normally buy them. Nikamwambia sasa, I'm out of town. I'm actually just a few kilometers, you know, from home. Sikumwambia kilometers, nimwambia pahali niko. And the only thing that I can do is buy some fruits from here. And then she said that, no, fruits I had bought. So on my way home, I ended up meeting with the people, and because now I'm seeking a position in politics, so nikaenda nikasimama. Unajua mwanasiasa akiona watu, si ni kuongea na wao. So so he stopped and he talked with them, and I took about an hour. You know, that place, between that place and home, is just about less than 5 minutes actually, less than 5 minutes. But I took an hour. So by the time that I reached home, she actually in her mind thought that what I had done is that I had realized that she's needy and she's tired. You know, I was not there at home. I didn't know that she's that tired. So, but she thought that I am tired. She's, now that she thought that I have realized she's tired and angry, I have gone back to, and she may not be having the time to cook, I have gone back to buy it because she has verbalized that can you come with some chapos or something like that. So I stayed, talked with the people, and then I go home, and I had nothing. After all, I didn't go back to town. And fruits, what I could have bought as fruits, she had said they are already fruits. So I went there and entered the house, and then she was actually mopping the house now. And she asked me, you didn't bring me some, whatever, so, you didn't bring me anything. Actually, she said, you didn't bring me anything? I said, no, but you said you had already bought the fruits. Said, I actually thought that you're going to bring me something. Now that you have stayed for so long, I thought you have gone back to whatever. And when I looked at her, she was very emotional. She started complaining. And when she started complaining, where I was standing, I told her, Ibu kuja hapa. You know, now even her voice, the tone of her voice was actually anger and so on. Ibu kuja hapa. And then at first she resisted because already she's feeling bad about me because I have not brought her anything. And then I insisted, you come. And then she came. And all I did is I hugged her. I just hugged her and I told her, you see, you could have told me, go back from where I was, and I would actually have gone. If you would have told me, please bring me that, I would have gone. But now, me, I went and was talking politics with some people. But now, I told her, now what we do, because we have to have a solution for that, is we go out and eat. We are going to go out and eat. Yeah. Now, she started resisting going out. But I told her, no, we are going out. And we went out and ate out there. Yes. So basically what we are saying is that she was already feeling angry. Now, if she's feeling angry, I had two options. What I did, or I could have made, you know, started making noise and say, but you never told me, and then it becomes a whatever. We are saying, give emotional support. And I think it's very critical. Because that way you nourish and you nurture your marriage. Provide, also share your lives, your bodies, and resources. You need to share your lives, share, like what somebody was saying, unakuja jioni munaambiana, how has the day been? No, that bit of sitting down, sometimes even switching off. Somebody said in an earlier episode, switching off that TV, keeping away the phone. One time visited a family that wakifika pale kwa mlango ni kama wanajipora. Unaona mtu akitafuta simu yake, because at the door they have you know, they have put up something, a shelf, whereby everybody, when they are coming to the house at the door, they stop there and they place their phones there. So once you are in the house, to me a phone yako huko the other, and even when they are going to sleep, they said we don't go to bed or to the bedroom with our phones. You know, they leave them there. And that one to me is something that is very deliberate, that you are sharing your lives, you are sharing even your bodies, and you are sharing your resources together. And lastly, I would want to say, to nurture and nourish, unajua ya kwamba kuna somebody like what we were saying, mtu anataka kuanza biashara, your spouse, wewe mmoja wenu, if at all there is something like that, has the money. Unajua they are all money, family, all money, whether it belongs to the man or to the wife, all money belongs to the family. Your money is our money. So kusupport yule mwingine ili aanze hiyo biashara. Ikiwa kuna mtu ambaye anataka kusoma, I'm happy that Daktari has said, I have actually been the one who has actually been pushing her. And I don't feel the referent that now she's being called doctor, and I am not Dr. Amesta. That to me is nothing. Kwani anaitwa Dr. nani, sini Dr. Gashohi? Yes. Gashohi ni nani? So basically what we are saying is that help one another. I'm happy that she's the one who said that. I am the one who has been encouraging her. Even when it came to the masters, at one time she was saying, no, I can't take these forms. I said, no, you are taking the forms. I am the one who is going to do whatever you are supposed to be doing for today so that you take the forms. Basically, we are saying, that is the application forms. We are saying, if improve the other person. Ikiwa ni masomo, improve yeye. Ikiwa ni business, improve yeye. Ikiwa ni career yake, kuna jambo ambalo unaweza changia kazi zake. Tafadhali fanya hivyo. Si ni kweli? I think the part that now remains is for us now, just like in the last discussion we now discussed on how do you nurture your husband and how do you nurture your wife. So nurturing one another's spouse. But if at all there is somebody with a contribution or a quick question, this is your time. Yes, please.
Because nurturing involves even protecting, we need to protect one another, and that involves protecting the other person's weaknesses before, especially before our children and even the rest. Like watu wa nje, familia, kila mtu wasione uchu wa huyu mwingine, because tunafaa kufichana.
Asante. I remember somebody who said ya kwamba they went to visit somebody. Mama alikuwa ameweka chumvi mingi kwa chakula. Wakati bwana alitaste hiyo chakula, akasikia iko na chumvi mingi sana. Akasema, mama fulani, hebu nipatie chumvi. Akaongeza kidogo. Wakati aliongeza kidogo, si yeye atakula chakula hata ambayo iko na chumvi mingi zaidi. Wakati wale wengine walitaste wakasema, lakini hiyo chakula iko na chumvi already so much. Walitoka hapo wakisema ya kwamba huyo mama anawekanga chakula chumvi mingi kwa chakula kwa sababu bwana yake siliona hata aliongeza. You know? Lakini wakati alitoka akamwambia yenyewe dia, hii ulikuwa umeweka excess. But we are saying protecting one another. Sio kuanika mwingine. Unasikia, sio kuanika mwingine ati weaknesses zake unazipeleka kama prayer issues kwa ushirika. Ati mumuombe mume wangu ama mumuombe mke wangu. Kuna hii inasumbua yeye na sijui nini, unaficha uchi wa mwingine. Thank you. Any other? Yes, Grace.
It is good in marriage. Sometimes you sit and do postmortem in your marriage. Mnaketi mnaulizana. We had an issue some other times, and now we need to sit and see whatever we applied in the issue, did it work? Ili tuweze kujua ya kwamba kama ilifanya vizuri na kama haikufanya ni nini kingine tunaweza tukafanya ili ndoa yetu ikawe imesimama. Yes.
And that way you learn even from your strengths, you learn from your weaknesses.
Learn from our weaknesses.
Because somebody said if you do the same thing that you do in the same manner and expect different results, mnajua huwa inasema huyo ni nani. Si ni kweli? Thank you very much. I think now we'll go to the discussion phase, where now we look at how do you nurture, how do you nourish your husband, how do you nurture, how do you nourish your wife. Otherwise, thank you very much for your contributions and for your time. God bless you. And the viewers also, you can also participate in that session together with us. Thank you.
1 Corinthians 13 verse 13, and now abide faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Love is the greatest of all feelings. In today's discussion during the break,
yes, we continue with the class, and now we are at the discussion time. Thank you sana Mwalimu, yours truly Mwalimu GACOHI, for taking us through the end part of the marriage alphabet or alphabet of marriage, that is to nurture and to nourish. Maybe one of the questions we may be asking ourselves and even the viewers is that which is the best way to nourish? I know we have looked at how to nourish our marriage, yeah? But now, specifically if you are to help one another, or just say, I would want, what we said, the issue of where you are provided for growth and development as an individual in marriage. You would want, if this is done, I know I can thrive. You know, the issue is this. For you to be nurtured or to be nourished, that means you are growing to something. And maybe we have those dreams, we have those desires, we have those ambitions. And maybe somehow you'd want to tell your husband or your wife, listen to this. If you nurture me on this, if I'm nourished on this or provided on this is what I can become, or these are my ambitions. And maybe we ask one another, or we can ask ourselves, how would you want if that which you have, or you are taken, okay, you are provided for, or you are protected. I like the way she said, cared for, protected, when something is growing. Okay, so we can look at those, individual things, so that we can help ourselves and also our viewers on the specifics. Yeah, yes. Starting, we give the gentleman first. I can see somewhere anataka kusema. Yes, somewhere.
I think one is taking your spouse for a date, or maybe for a lunch, for evening dinner. That's one of the ways you can nurture, and also celebrating one's another's anniversary. Yeah, it can nourish and nurture someone. Yes, to me that's the most good thing.
Wow, hear that. Yes. That one way of nourishing and nurturing one another is when we are there with one another together. But in this case, is even nourishing one another hata kwa kichakura. Okay? He's saying, let's have that time alone. When we nourish one another by giving people one another attention, but also celebrating one another. Birthdays, anniversaries, those Valentines, both of you, two of you, that would be good. Another one, we can go to, do you start, men? Yes, George?
Yes, by providing emotional.
Give us an example. You said going now
Yes.
out. I want an example. How do you provide for the emotional?
Emotional support is when my spouse, maybe after understanding what I have been going through, sits with me and tells me, I know. It has not been an easy time. I know. But I appreciate.
Okay.
You have done so much. Like maybe I have been struggling to do something that concerns both of us, and maybe it has not been easy. So when I get those words that are appreciating, and also telling me of how I have fought the battle, just like the Bible says that I have fought a good battle, I have finished the race.
You've not yet.
So telling me that,
you
you have come, umepambana, hiyo hali umepambana. It nourishes my heart.
Yeah,
it nourishes my emotions and gives me strength to move on, to grow even to a greater height than I have been.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Abraham.
Yes, what I can say matters nurturing my spouse, for that matter my wife. I will try to praise her. Praise her in the sense whatever she's doing, even if it is not perfect. Human is to error. But I will praise, I will appreciate her for the little he has done, and then encourage her even to do better. And to add on it, nikiona ile kitu anapenda sana. Like my wife anapenda sana mambo ya young marriages na counseling. So if I see what she loves, then I look for materials. I empower her the more. So that ata akiendelea na hiyo agenda yake, ata feel ako equal to the task. And another one ni kukuwa na time yake. Every time ukiwa na shughuli zako, at least ensure uko na time yake. Even if there is nothing important you're going to do, but at least there is that time, the hard time. And I feel enyewe, this is my man, I have time to ask questions. Sometimes ni vizuri mwanaume unajibu swali vile umeulizwa. Hapa naenda kando. Unajua we are fond of diverting the question. Ama you answer a question with a question. And normally mimi like ninajua kuna siku ya maswali. Na I know nikiingia tu kwa mlango najuanga leo ni siku ya maswali. Ninajibrace, ina maana I'm ready to answer every question. And if you answer I've learned from experience. The day nimejibu maswali yote vizuri vile nimeulizwa, hiyo siku inakuwa mzuri sana.
It ends up well.
It ends up.
Yes, that's good. Thank you, Abraham. Yes, you can, and it's not just answering them. You answer them from the heart.
Yes.
And if possible, frankly, or as the, you know, if you kuweza unasema sikuweza sikukumbuka, it is just the truth. Answering means it's not getting all right.
Yes.
But you answer the questions with free. Yes.
I think for me, I would look at it from how do I feel nurtured, nourished, and I think it is when there is that prayer input, spiritual backup into the things that I'm doing, big or small, where I find that passion in praying for the thing that I believe in. And secondly is where, say for example, I have an idea and there is an intellectual discourse on it, whereby we are discussing and there is the input of the idea. There is that input whereby I think it would be better this way, or we can be able to better it this way. That engagement in the discussion of how can we improve on this, with the suggestions. Sometimes I may not even say, yeah, that was a great idea. But I implement it because I know it was a great idea. But I think that is one of the ways of being nurtured.
Thank you, thank you. I just want to mention some of the things that maybe part of it is being said about how to nurture husband. And I also want us not to get it wrong. I know sometimes wamama wanafikiri kunurture ni ile ni kama unachunga, you know, what you call, you are pampering him like a baby. You know, I'm not talking about the way we take care of the baby. Oh, umenajimwagia mpaka unampaguza huku kama anakula. I mean, you're not pampering the man to be like your baby. Women, hear this. You're not making your husband a big baby. Yes, you're only trying to help him grow, okay? So even as you help him in whatever you're doing, it's not like he's incapacitated like a child. So that now, that's not, because sometimes this is where we miss it. And so by the way, when you make him a baby or a big baby, no wonder he keeps crying like a baby. I mean, you know, kila saa, you know, it's like he's not ready to man up, be the man in the house, because it's like you also are mothering him, like the way he was mothered by the mother. You are not a mother. You are a wife. You have come to support. You are not bringing him up like a child. So the nurturing, let's not say, not take it like that one, tunanyonyesha mtoto, ukimtoa diaper na nini. That's not what you are doing to your man. Okay? So this is what it means. Part of the nurturing of a man is when you respect and also submit to him. I know this one rubs women the wrong way, because they think, you know, again, you see, if you want to let him be the man, then allow him to be, you know, you want him to grow, let him be a man in the house, okay? Especially if you let him to be the hero. He has an idea, or he has come with an idea. Don't say, unajua ni mimi nilikwambia, hata unajua hii business, ni vile tu nimekupa idea. You see, you keep making him not a hero, he is not going to be nurtured. Forget what you suggested. If he carried it and he did it well, then let him be the hero. Ndani yako unajua, mimi ndiye msaidizi. Okay? So you just let him. Then you give him what we are calling self-care, but take care by taking care of his things. What we are doing is, you are not like managing him like you vile tumesema una wipe mpaka uso nini. It's not like you're taking like a baby, but you can manage his things. Like, I know my husband, some of the things that I have to take care of him is, came to manage, keeping his things in order. How many times have I been asked even for his own personal ID, for his PIN number, and all that. So what I realized is that it's like I'm taking, not you know, not pampering him, but I am like a caretaker. Do you understand? I'm a caretaker. Ask him whether his title deeds are niko nazo. He may not even remember how many. I may be the one to do it.
So that means you are not dominating.
Yes.
You are not taking dominion over him. But you are just only being a faithful helper.
Yes, I'm just being a suitable helper. Almost like a caretaker. The other thing is, ask him where you can help. That is where now again, where you help, you can nurture him. Ask him where you can help. Then, give him time to be, give him time to be with himself. Men love being, I don't know how many of them here can agree to that. There's that time when they want to be they have their me time. To be himself. Amekuja, amenyamaza. What is wrong? Why can't you talk to me? There is that time you allow him to be with himself, and we say, allow him to let you in his space. Kuna vile akinyamaza hivyo, atasema, kuna hii, and then he explains, other than when you try to nag it or get it out from him. Maybe he's trying to see, how do I say, nitasemaje? But now when you give him time, what happens? He's able to let you in his space. And then always, as we say, remind him of what he's been able. Strengths and all that. Very fast, can we look at, for the ladies? I know we may not have enough time, but I think, kwa maneno yetu mingi tunaweza sema. Lea, how do you want to feel nurtured?
When he supports my dreams and ambitions, like now I'm doing my degree in psychology counseling, and it reached a point I told him now, I think it was last semester, I told him now I'm going to defer this course because I have to pay for exams, I have to pay for school fees, and the money is not enough. And he told me, no, you don't have to defer. What he did, he paid for the exam and that semester, and I was able to complete. So I felt nurtured and supported.
Yes, supported and even motivated to continue. That is nurturing by paying what you realize you would have been able. Oh, thank you. Constance?
I love when he corrects me, because he corrects me with a positive side. And I came to realize my weakness and my strength. So my weakness and my strength. So he knows my weakness. That weakness, one day it will become a strength. Yeah, and I will use it to do other things.
Like now you love talking to people. That's how also you encourage them and you're able to help them as they heal.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yes, Jacinta.
One way that I love about my husband, he has nurtured me using his best to make me better. One thing I know, my husband is a planner and he's a quick thinker. So wakati mimi maybe something has happened and I don't know what to think or what to do, he comes in. So he's nurturing me, showing me, this is how to react to this and this and this, and that has made me better than what I was. He has also nurtured me when it comes to spiritual stuff. He creates those opportunities for me, and we will even hear him telling me, I know someone, najua huyo anafanya hii na hii, I can introduce you to it. So he's connecting me, providing me with a way that I can become better, as in platforms. Yeah.
Wow, that's very good. Thank you. Grace?
Yes. One thing is, when it comes to, just like the pastor has said, era is to man, huwa ninafurahia sana because my husband is one of men, yule ambaye huwa anasema sorry. Na it makes me know that it is not women only, it is not me only that I make mistakes. So even men can make a mistake and say sorry. So he's one of men ambaye ninaweza sema, hata baba yangu sikuwa isikia akisema sorry. So yeye huwa akimake a mistake huwa ananiambia, oh my dear, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And huwa inanifanya nisikie, oh, ameniinua kiwango kingine cha kujua ya kwamba sio wanawake peke yake. Another thing is he shares. Hata kama ni visions ambazo ako nazo, huwa ananiita, tunaketi chini, ananiambia, my dear, naona tufanye, niko na maono tufanye ABCD for our future. Inasikia kweli.
Wow. Thank you so much, even for the sharing. Viewers, I believe you have been able to look back and see the time you felt nurtured or nourished, you know, or even be nourished now, like our one of us, Rhea, where the husband has paid for the exams and there, so you feel you're being supported and nurtured to grow and become better. That's very important. And as I want to say this, one of the things that makes women feel nourished and nurtured is when you protect her, and I like what Jacinta said, please be there for them. Protect them to the fact that you didn't want somebody to attack them, whether verbally or psychologically. When your mother starts criticizing your wife, you can just say, no, this, mom, ikifika hapo, huu ni mke wangu, and I made the choice. So I know how to deal with her weaknesses, okay? So provide for her. When she's feel provided for, it's also another way of being nurtured. Because at the end of it is when she comes and fights this man who I came under him, is able to protect me. And provide does not mean everything. But as you are there, you are providing the moral support. You are the cheerleader when she's trying to do something. And you are the cheerleader there, like where Pastor somebody is one who even looks for customers, and say you are more like a, providing. That's also providing. So it's not that actually. Then one thing that I had is where you prioritize her, in this, that when it comes to preferences of who you are to choose in a family, sometimes I've seen where people go and you are in a family gathering and like everyone wants to ride the vehicle or wants to go with you, and it's like your wife is the one to make the last choice. Everyone gets into the car because gari ya ndugu yako au ndugu yetu, and then you find your wife is the one who has to be, to look for space or where to go. Sometimes as we were studying, remember that time, the loves. By now you should have known that when it comes to now that your wife now, she came to your family because you chose her. And she's there because of you. If you don't choose her, prioritize her, then she feels like you have already left her. Okay? So when it comes there, it is where you even say, he sit near my wife. I like what my husband used to say. He sit near my wife unless ape mtu mwingine. Maybe if it is my mother-in-law, I tell her, Mom, kaa hapa. Mimi nitakaa nyuma. But when we are together, this is my seat. And he's the one who tells them. So I'm the one to give it out. Not to be the one to make it. I already know my priority. In that way, when you prioritize her, she feels taken care of. Then listen and genuinely be interested with her. I think that one has been said many times, okay? Yes. Then one of the things she always loves, and that is the last one, I wish, men, here, everywhere, please validate her emotions and her feelings. One of the things that women will have is emotions and sometimes feelings. Just tell them, sasa ni nini inakusumbua. Please make sure that when she's saying, I feel like this, try to almost see what she can hear or she can feel, because sometimes she may not just explain why she's crying. But do you know, hata kama ni kitu kidogo, inamsumbua. Validate her, make it meaningful. Sasa muulize, sasa ni inafanya wewe ulie? Hiyo tu kidogo. Sasa hiyo inafanya hata muelewi. Ni kidogo lakini imefanya alie. Can you want to know the weight? What did I see? So at the end of it, men out there and here, husbands, please validate her feelings. Hawezi lia bure tu. Sikupenda napenda kulia. Na sikukasirika tu bure. Hata akikwambia mimi sioni huyo mtu vile simpendi, muulize umemwona tu, validate her. She may know exactly something she may not be able to. You are our rubber stamp for what we feel and sometimes what we experience. Yes, thank you so much. A lot that we need to say about nurturing, but I think the rest we do the homework at home. Yes. Tukitoka hapa darasa, let's go and do the homework and nurture one another, nourish one another. God bless you all. Thank you, our viewers. I believe you also learning like we are doing.
Stay tuned for the next lesson. To get the notes of today's lesson, visit www.mbcimedia.com/TMC. Catch the repeat of this episode on Tuesday at 10 p.m.